Good evening. If you're just joining us right now, I'm Angie Forbin. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and the name is the same as the handles. Fabrice Lena is Cameroon's most wanted man as we speak right now, and I'm sure you must have heard it. He escaped from prison 4 days ago, and a search warrant has been issued. The man is on the run, accusing his lawyer as well, or his lawyer until today, of all kinds of things, saying that the man is corrupt, he's an insider of the system, and saying that he had to escape because he feared for his life. Well, Richard Tamfu, who happens to be a human rights lawyer, but also a politician, is our guest today to clear his name and to explain the reasons why and how Fabrice Lena, who is a one-time campaign manager for the PAL candidate Ateki Seta Kangston in the last presidential election. He's here to clear his name, but also he'll be speaking to the charges levied against his client, Fabrice Lena, who today says that he's corrupt, he's an insider, he's conniving with the government, and he was part of a scheme to extort money from him. Without much ado, I'm going to go ahead and add Mr. Tamfu so that we can have a quick conversation about what's going on, what to expect in the coming days. Barrister Tamfu, it's so glad to speak with you this evening.
I just listened to you and I'm speechless. I don't even know if I'll be able to talk to you, but it's okay. It's okay.
How did you find yourself in such a quagmire? Is the first question I want to ask you.
I myself am surprised. I'm surprised after all the helps I've been doing for people. I've been working even for this Fabrice Lena case pro bono ever since his arrest. He has never retained me as a lawyer. I've never been paid, but I'm doing it to help an Anglophone brother. It is in that basis that I'm even working in that fight pro bono. And if today the payment of Lena is that I'm a traitor or I'm working with a system, or I don't know whether he said I was part to extort him. I am shocked by such allegations. And
how did we get here? What was he arrested for on the 5th of November? And I asked the question because there were rumors of political or retaliation and political persecution, because he had come out with bold claims stating that Issa Chiruma was the winner of the presidential election, but also I'd reached out to police sources as well as diplomatic sources who said that they were concerned that he could have been involved in an immigration scam. And so First of all, I want you to clear, as his legal counsel at the time, what were the charges levied against him?
On the documents circulating on social media, his arrest, Lena was charged for forgery of documents, public documents. And these public documents we are talking here about birth certificates and some documents you file for visa application at the French consul, at the French embassy. His arrest had nothing to do with politics. Lena was not arrested on the 5th of November. Lena was arrested before. Lena was remanded in prison, but on the 5th of November. That is not the day of his arrest. It is true that it came and coincided in a period of post-electoral crisis, but his arrest had nothing political. And if there was anything political, I would have been the first person to speak out. I followed the investigations I followed the case from investigation, police investigations. And I repeat and I tell you the truth, his case had nothing political. He is being charged for offenses punishable with the penal code, which are normal offenses that they can suspect anybody.
You say that his case has nothing to do with politics, but his case, I mean, he was arrested in a very highly political context in the middle of a presidential election. Why do you think that the government chose to, or elements of law enforcement chose to move in and arrest him only around that time?
I am not in their brain. It's a file that was already pending. Investigation was already pending in that whole saga before the judicial police in Douala. It's not just because the file was already pending, and one of the accused persons with Lena, as we speak, is in New Bell prison. So it's not like it's a particular target on Lena. The person who is in detention, is he a politician? No. So his case had nothing to do with politics. And the people wanted to politicize it. I was the one who breached that link, who put a halt to that. So if today Lena thinks that because you cannot be claiming that you are innocent and you are running away from justice. If you are innocent, come and prove yourself. If people are illegally accusing you, no. Imagine he is illegally being, let's even assume that he was illegally being accused. This is time for you to prove, to defend yourself.
But you're speaking as a man who knows the system within the system and who has been a victim. You yourself were brutalized by forces of law enforcement before. And a time too many people have been wrongfully arrested and kept in detention. In fact, I was going to ask you, he was still in preventive custody. He was not even judged as yet. Isn't that a day too many for him to still have been in custody 6 weeks later?
No, it's because we people speak without knowing the criminal procedure code.
Tell us.
At times, you being in detention at times is even because they want to secure you. They don't want evidence against you to maybe go away. When you are being arrested or you are being prosecuted for an offense or suspected to have committed an offense and you are charged before the court, you are either granted bail or you are remanded. You are on preventive detention. That preventive detention is another way of even securing your liberty. I mean, securing your human being. Now, that is what happened. Lena was not able to benefit from bail because they believed that the charges against him were so much sufficient. That is why he was remanded. Now, you are remanded, the case is passing before an open court. It's not like they went and remanded him and the case was not passing in court. His first appearance in court was on the 4th of December. We applied for bail before the court. The ruling of the bail was to be delivered on the 12th of December. On the 12th of December, and it's even going on an expeditious train because it is a flagrant delicto offense. You see that on the 4th of December, we were in court. On the 12th of December, we are in court. And after the bail was denied, the matter was adjourned. Is that the reason? Because the court is not granting what you want, that you are taking the laws into your hands?
But
is it because I was brutalized by gendarmes or by law enforcement officers that I will not see, maybe if I have a problem today, I will not go and complain to them?
Barrister
Me, I'm a lawyer.
See that, and we understand that you are a lawyer. We understand your sacrifices for human rights in Cameroon, but I think these points are being made to say that You cannot say that Cameroon is a country of law. You cannot say that the incarceration conditions of Cameroon are ideal. What if he was traumatized? What if the death in detention of a high profile politician like Anissa Ekane, who was left to die like a dog by the Biya regime, could have triggered something in him, a survival response that made him feel that the only way he would have out of jail, the only certain way he would be able to slip away and aspire for a future was to flee?
Okay, when I get you, you want to tell me that two wrongs make a right. If, for example, he was uh, illegally being arrested or being prosecuted, the option was for him to run away. But for me, as a lawyer, I don't look at it like that. I look with the eyes of the law. And when you say Cameroon is not a state of law, it is clearly written in the Cameroon constitution that Cameroon is a state of law. If those who are to apply the law are not applying it, my role as a lawyer is to make sure that that law is being respected. Because if Cameroon was not a state of law, I will not even be patrolling myself in Cameroon saying that I'm a lawyer, because nobody will recognize me in that country as a lawyer. The system is not perfect, and we should fight for it. In the case that concerns Fabrice Lena, I want to know why he thinks that I'm a traitor, or is it because I
We
opted to
wanted
defend
to
him,
ask you that
throw
question.
him both?
Why do you think that he should brand you as a traitor? Is there any fire to the smoke, or is it out of frustration? Are you saying that this is just the story of sour grapes? He's not the first
Of
person to
course.
think that your credibility is questioned. And that's why I'm asking you, maybe you've introspected, and there might be one or two things that you may not have agreed on that could make him to see things this way.
No, that's just the normal face of human beings. Human beings are ungrateful, because it's not somebody like Fabrice Lena that will tag me today as a traitor, despite some personal relationship that I have with him. And if I opted to defend him, ask him whether he has paid me. I did it pro bono, still out of love. It's not out of any. It was not even out of money. So my only mistake here was to have accepted to give my legal services to him, because nothing obliged me to do that.
What could have gone wrong, though? I mean, you had a personal relationship with him away from the law courts. You were political friends or buddies. We've seen him accompany you to awards. And so you knew each other. Weren't you aware that you differed in terms of principle? What went wrong?
Look, my political affiliations are with the Cameroonian Party for National Reconciliation. I believe in it does not make that since I am with that party, Lena must necessarily follow me. No, he is free of his opinions, and I think that if we are doing politics, everybody should be free of his opinions. We should respect each other's opinions, even when we disagree. I did not see Lena as an enemy because we belong to maybe two separate political parties. No, I didn't see him like that. I continue to maintain my own ideologies and defend my own opinion in terms of politics. Now, even when he had issues, the first person he called was me. I never called him. I never gave myself to defend him. When he got arrested, the first person he called was me. If he knew that we had political differences, why then was he calling for me? When I came to assist him, did I pose any action that was not going in his favor? I did everything possible during the investigation for it not to follow a political lane, for it to remain on the normal track that it was on. I still took him when and made sure that while he's in prison, I left him into some good hands. Has he thought about the persons who trusted in him through me? He has not thought about that.
So today you tell us and you confirm as his attorney that he's being tried or is facing the law on charges of fraud related to immigration. Aren't you afraid that he could take you to court for a possible violation of confidentiality as the lawyer of his that you are or you were until recently?
So my professional obligations with him stopped on the 12th when I got information that he evaded from prison. And somebody will not be putting allegations like this, serious allegations like this on me, because this is a personal attack and I don't defend myself, or I don't give my own part of the story. It has nothing to do with professional obligation of secrecy or whatsoever. I'm not disclosing whether he's guilty or he's not guilty. I'm not disclosing that. I'm giving the context or the facts of the case, what he's been charged for. And by doing that, I'm not violating any professional secrecy because those things are public. Court hearings are public.
So let's go back to when you were made aware that he had escaped on the 12th, which was after his arraignment. Did you have a hint that this was something that he was probably planning? You knowing him, do you think this was planned, or was it just in a quick heat of the moment that he may have decided, you know what, I get a chance, I may as well disappear?
So many things were done behind my knowledge, behind my back, without me knowing. Fabrice Lena is bringing up a story that 1,500,000 was extorted from him. I was never informed about that. I never initiated that. He himself knows how he handled that. I never, even in one point in time, imagined that his life was threatened or what any short. He has every day I always verify whether he's fine. He tells me fine. If you verify our private conversations, you'll see. Never a day has he told me that, as you see, something is wrong or this. So he had his own plan. He had maybe his plans to seek for asylum or use it to make his political file or whatsoever. It's only when you see that he disappeared on the 12th. I had knowledge about it very late at night. On the 13th, I spoke with him, trying to put reason to him, to tell him that no, two wrongs does not make a right. 14, I tried to convince him to tell him that that was not a path to choose. If you don't reproach yourself from anything, you should not be running away. You instead aggravate your situation. On the 15th, I still did what I could do. We only stopped being on one page that he had to come to the public also the 16th. Just to tell you for how many days I have contained the information and tried to bring him back to reason before all the efforts failed.
What was his tone when you spoke to him on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th? Was he conciliatory? Was he even listening to you? Did you have the impression that you were going to be put on blast some hours later by the same person?
No. He reassured me that he was angry because they extorted him money. And I told him that no, this is an arrangement you did behind my back. I never knew about this issue of money that you are bringing up. However, I will struggle to see how to make sure that your money comes back. That's the only assurance I gave him. And I did my own the money he's even talking about is he falsely accusing prison administrator to have collected his money. Prison administrators have not collected his money. Lena gave his money to a third party. He never paid money directly to these people, but I had to tell these prison people that no, as Lena is talking, from every indication, he wants that his money should come back. So you people should raise that money before Lena comes back. And Lena kept on giving me the assurance that no, he is going to come back. Once the money was available, I said, Lena, okay, your money is available. Can they send the money to me so that you report to the police and take to the prison and collect you report to the prison and collect your money? Lena says no, is that they should send the money directly to him. The people said no. How would they send the money directly to you when, one, you are not in prison, you have evaded? You want to take the money and continue your journey.
So what you're saying, Barrister Tamfu, is that prison wardens kind of tacitly admitted to extorting money from him and were ready to reimburse it if he would return.
The truth, I cannot say what I don't know. The only thing, there is no proof.
Who was returning the money then?
The person who withdrew the money is an intermediary who is not a prison warder. Lena did not act with those prison warders. He gave his money to an intermediary person who claimed to have relations to help him in his file, to help him in his situation, who claimed to have relations to make him benefit from some prison largesse, some prison facilities, of maybe going out and coming back, those type of things.
Can you name names? Who was this third party?
I have names, except you want me to, because when I disclose you the names now, the person too will be on track. The names are there. I can send it to your inbox.
We would love for you to send the names. He accuses you also of using him as a captive to foster your political agenda the same way that you do him. Tell me, how do you think that he would have used you or he'll be bashing you on social media to foster his political agenda. Because I mean, that's the same thing he's accusing you of. So he's a he say, she say.
Well, I don't even know what to say because it has never crossed my mind. If he thinks that that is what I wanted to do, I can only tell him thank you. My only mistake here was to have accepted to defend him. If he thinks that I had wanted to have any gain, I'm really sorry. That it has never crossed. If he thinks that, that has never crossed my mind, and I leave it to God, and God will judge it for us.
But beyond this back and forth, I'm sure you realize that your reputation has taken a hit because these allegations are very damaging. And I mean, you can see in the in the line of comments, several people saying and thinking that your credibility, has been affected. They do not believe you. What are some of the measures beyond you, being on a tirade, beyond you coming out on social media? What are some of the measures, you who are somebody who thinks that you go to the law, you defend yourself if you are innocent? What are some of the measures you think you would be taking, at least to try to clear your name if you're innocent?
I am a lawyer and I believe in the law. I will definitely file a complaint in the days ahead against Fabrice Lena for all the defamation that he's doing and the accusations he's putting against me. That will be a personal case that I will file against him because I will not allow my name to be tarnished the way he's doing. All what he's putting out as information, I've been keeping all those exhibits, and when the time to answer for it, he will come to court and he will answer for it.
So, with regards to his evasion, his prison, his breakaway from prison, or his breakout from prison, what does the penal code say? What is he risking?
Well, that's an offense. That's another offense adding to the offense that he was already being charged. And this one of evasion is even more serious. Just that I've not consulted my penal code to know exactly the provision of the law, but evasion is an offense. Evasion from legal custody is an offense. He was legally being remanded and he decided to evade. It's an offense. So he's definitely going to face maybe other charges for that.
What was he facing? What were the odds for him prior to this moment?
What was? I didn't understand your question. I didn't get you.
If you say that he's being tried for forging documents in line with an immigration or possible immigration scams, what is he risking? Is he risking any time in jail? How many years?
This is a misdemeanor offense. And if you permit, I'll just quickly consult my penal code because it's a misdemeanor offense and being tried before the court of first instance. If we are still just talking, if you are supposed to maybe be in prison, it will be an imprisonment term that can vary between 10 days imprisonment and the maximum at the court of first instance is 10 years. That's the maximum if found guilty. But from the facts of the case that I knew and that I was defending, everything was in my favor. The facts were in my favor. The law was in my favor for him to prove himself not guilty, for me to help him prove himself guilty.
Oh, so is there anything that, beyond just the fact that, now you both are loggerheads, it's a sad relationship between a lawyer and his client. Do you think that it's possible for you people to meet each other in the middle? Is there somebody who can mediate for you both so that you can come to a better sentiment?
When somebody tarnishes my reputation, will it going to be restored back? Do you think I'm going to look him again as the client? He's not even a client because it's a pro bono client. Let's say it. You think I can still look for him? So I think the person to separate us will be the law courts, and I will not do anything out of it. If
he
they
called you a traitor, and I want to ask you: have you ever been a traitor? I know that you were part of the
if I have been a traitor, I will not have had this reputation that I have today. Do you know how many people that I have helped for free? Do you know people that? How can I be a traitor? Then I don't merit to be a lawyer, because a lawyer is like a person that you are confining yourself to him.
Is this the first time that you're dealing with a client and things are spiraling out of control in such a way?
This is my first time. I've never Instead, I've saved people into situations where at times they even consider me to be their god or a demigod. I've never had this kind, even the Lena himself before this his behavior. I have always considered him as a little brother. Even when we were even on different political pages, I accepted to defend him. It had nothing to do with politics. And even it had to be politics. We will be confronting our political ideas or opinions. How is he going to put me or make me being a traitor to him?
I'm going to read a few comments on here. If Anissa Ekane had run away, you would have said the same thing. Do you want to make any comment?
Please, we should not come out of the context. The way you put it, or the way people put it, it means that if you are a criminal, you should not face justice because you will maybe end up bad. I don't. Those are political personalities who had issues with the justice system, and what has happened today to them is all regrettable. So you cannot be putting the situation of Anissa Ekane with that of Lena. They are two different things. Let's
I'm going to read
respect
another
the
comment.
memories of those. Yes.
Richard, you're delusional. You want him to come back and get arrested. I think the general trend is that people have sympathy for Mr. Lena because they understand that the judiciary in Cameroon or the legal system in Cameroon is not something to write home positively about. Do we agree on that at least?
Even in the US where you are, we have seen cases where people are being jailed, and after maybe years of imprisonment, they discover that the people were innocent. There is never a justice system that will be perfect, especially human justice system that will be perfect. I know I'm not saying that the justice system of Cameroon is 100% perfect. As a lawyer, we fight for it. We fight to perfect it. If not, we will not be practicing as lawyers. And that is what I've been doing. I myself have been victim. It will not make me run away from the system. I will have to make sure I repair the wrongs in my own way. I know very well that there are innocent people who are in prison. I always file cases, habeas corpus cases for them to be released because they don't have to be there. But if you somebody that you have committed an offense, you have been proven guilty, you have to serve your imprisonment term. For example, Leonard today, if I see him, I will arrest him. I will not open the road for him to go. No, that's not my role. As a lawyer, I have to aid in the administration of justice. And even if the justice which I believe, I have to just make sure that this file does not suffer from any abuse of law.
I'll read another comment from Mandela. Mandela, you and Cabral are trying to use him and buy a ministerial position. Is there any iota of credibility to that? Do you want to make a comment?
How is he related? How is he related? Which relationship do they have? If I have to be minister, do I need to pass through Fabrice Lena? If I want to be the president of this country, do I need to pass through him? Please, they should not be people should not be putting things that does not even tie. Why should I use him to have anything?
But why do you think that this rift with your former client is suscitating so much passion and in a negative way? Why is there so much whiplash and you are on the receiving end of it?
Because people think that people who are quick on social media, they think that look, me, anything social media, I take it with a pinch of salt. I'm not there for views. I'm not there for you can insult, you can do whatever. I know my worth. I know I'm not there to fight with somebody on social media to prove whether I'm right or wrong. No. I even post on social media because I know it's a means of communication. If I have to defend myself, it's not on there is no court on Facebook or there's no court on social media. If I have to defend myself, there's a court. That's where I'll go to. But Facebook is a means of communication, or even this platform that we're talking about. So I don't care about what people say on what are they insult or whatsoever. I think that up to this point, I'm left with my conscience to judge me, and I think that my conscience has not been betrayed. still be the person that I am, and I'll still continue to move from it, because when I took my oath of a lawyer, I knew that betrayal is going to be my reward. Because even Jesus Christ, who came fighting for humanity, was crucified, was sentenced to death and crucified, because he came to save us. So since my oath as a lawyer, I know, okay, that's my profession I choose, and I'll continue to fight for it.
Barrister Richard Tamfu, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. You also happen to be one of the senior ranking members of the PCRN of Cabrali B, who came third in the last presidential election. What are your plans for the local elections? And I mean, the regional elections that wrapped up on the 30th of November. Do you want to make a comment on any of those? I know that I wasn't trying to speak politics with you today because of the issues, the matters at hand, but there's just no way that I would have you on there without you making a comment about the political stakes of the current political stakes.
Well, as a politician, we all know that the presidential election is behind us. That's the position of my party. The regional election was never a direct election. The people who voted were municipal councillors, chiefs, and other like. We are now looking forward for legislative and municipal election. That's the position of the Cameroonian Party for National Reconciliation.
Are you running?
I am trying to do everything possible to run within my constituency. And I even already, if you follow my Facebook page, I've been trying to bring Anglophones to talk to themselves, because we are not able to exercise our political activities in the Northwest because we continue to suffer the effects of an armed crisis. And this armed conflict is not benefiting the local person, it's benefiting the regime in place, because they are the ones having arms or having an army to retaliate with the separatists who are trying to fight with arms. So it is time for us to talk to each other to say, no, a small group of persons cannot use arms to impose on us. Let's speak out and let the youths. It's time for us to empower youth to claim to go back to the councils and take leadership positions. That's my position.
Presidential election, you say, is over. That's your party's stance. But from a personal perspective, I know that your national chairman had kind of hinted to the fact that the winner might not be the person who was sworn in recently. What's your take on that? And why did your party choose to be somewhat kind of ambiguous?
No, those are accusations you are putting up to my party, and I will not tolerate that. That's your own accusations that you are putting. We want to let us remain Republican when we accept to go to play by the rules. So I don't want to say things here that are not correct. When there are rules of a game and you accept to go by the rules of that game, then also be ready to accept the results that will come out. So trying to charge my political party to be playing in an ambiguous stage and all the like, to me, is not proper. The presidential election was organized. If we respected or we accepted to go by those institutions, then we should be able to respect those institutions. The organ who was supposed to proclaim the results has proclaimed the results. We may like it or we may not like it. As a lawyer, when you have a case, you are going to the court to defend it. If at the end of the day, you are not satisfied with the ruling of the judge, you are going on appeal. If you are not satisfied with the ruling of the appeal court, you go to the Supreme Court. If you are not satisfied with the ruling of the Supreme Court, then there is no other remedy, you wait to God. If we have accepted that Elekam should be the organ, we have accepted that the constitutional rule should play the role, then, and we know very well that the Constitutional Council is the last resort. Then if there's any other claim that you may not be satisfied with it, then you only have to wait to God and go and complain to him.
Barrister Tamfu, I just wanted to clarify something really quickly. I absolutely have no interest. I wanted to just clarify something really quickly. I have absolutely no interest in levying any claims that are untruthful to your party, but I state as a fact that members of your party had come out and said that you had result slips and insinuated to the fact that the winner might have been somebody other than Paul Biya. But we appreciate your time. We thank you. Barrister Richard Tamfu happens to be a high-ranking member of the PCRN of Cabrali B. is currently roped in a scandal with a former client of his who is accusing him of being corrupt and being conniving with the BR regime. He has fled the country. Fabrice Lena is a political activist who was arrested on claims of document forgery, as his lawyer has said, and some sources within the French consulate in Yaoundé. But the timing of his arrest continues to raise eyebrows, and it's on that note that Angie Forbin, we've been live on Facebook and on YouTube, and the name is always the same as the handle. Coming up later this week, an explosive conversation we had in line with the special series we've been doing on the life of Anissa Ekane, who left us on the 1st of December as a martyr, as a national hero, when he was left to die in detention, in execrable detention conditions. His oxygen extractor or concentrator seized for over 3 weeks. He was begging for them to return it because he was suffocating. He had medical conditions that the government was well aware of, but did not care enough to provide him with the necessary health care that could have made him live longer. Angie Forbin, thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow with Rodrigue Sofo, we'll be airing the conversation we had. And, you know, he had a 5-hour conversation with Anissa Ekane in the end of September, and quite a few startling revelations were made about Yonder Black, who went to rest with his ancestors during the weekend, but also about how his activism against the privatization of state corporations like Sonel in 2001 cost him his marriage, how he was beaten, how he suffered in his skin when he carried out activism against or championed the fight to restore the dignity of the 9 of Bipanda who were killed during the operational command. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.